As dawn broke over the valley of Mbwila, a pale light bathed the landscape, softening the hills in ghostly hues while mist clung to the ground. The air was cool and calm, masking the tension beneath. Nal crouched at the forest edge, her eyes sharp as she watched the advancing Portuguese army. Their armor gleamed in the early light, and cannons were wheeled into place with ominous creaks. Though the invaders were well prepared and numerous, Nal knew that the warriors of Mbwila had something far more powerful, their knowledge of the land and the spirit of their ancestors guiding them.
They're moving into position, Nala. This is it.
Kato crouched beside Nal, his spear gripped tightly in his calloused hand, his normally calm face now tense with the weight of what lay ahead. His clenched jaw and narrowed eyes reflected the intensity of the moment. The quiet night had turned to the brink of chaos, and the reality of battle pressed down on them both. The early morning light barely filtered through the forest, casting an eerie glow over the cool, damp ground. Nal glanced at Kato, seeing the fire burning within him just as it did within her. They had faced many challenges together, but this was different. The stakes were higher. The weight of responsibility hung between them, yet neither wavered. Kato's quiet strength fed Nala's determination, and together they were ready to face the battle ahead side by side, as always.
We wait until they're deep in the valley. Then we strike. Strike fast! Don't let them see you!
The Portuguese soldiers, confident in their numbers, were caught off guard as arrows and spears rained down, shattering their formation. Panic spread as they struggled to defend themselves in the steep, dense terrain, with their cannons proving useless. Nal led her warriors with fierce precision, darting through the trees, using the forest as both a weapon and shield. Her spear struck with deadly accuracy, while Kato fought beside her, his sword delivering swift, calculated strikes. Together they moved like a well-rehearsed dance, leading the charge. The forest absorbed much of the cannon fire, and Nal's warriors, swift and relentless, used the terrain to their advantage, leaving the disoriented Portuguese struggling to keep up in a battle they were losing.
Their cannons are too powerful, Nala. We need to take them out.
Kato's urgent voice pierced the chaos, his eyes locked on the looming cannons at the forest's edge. Each blast from the massive iron cannons shook the ground, and though the thick trees had shielded Nala's warriors so far, they couldn't hold out forever. The cannons tore through the landscape, slowly dismantling their defenses. Nal noticed the strain on her warriors' faces as they dodged the blasts, their resolve fraying with each explosion. Though the battle had initially been in their favor, with their knowledge of the land giving them an edge, the cannons now threatened to turn the tide. The trees, once a protective shield, were splintering, leaving them exposed. Nala knew time was running out. If they didn't take out the cannon soon, defeat was inevitable. The time to act was now.
We will. Focus on the soldiers first. We'll deal with the cannons later.
Nala, we have to take the cannons out now, or we won't hold them much longer.
Kato's voice, sharp with urgency, cut through the clash of steel and the distant rumble of cannons. His usual calm was strained, revealing the gravity of the situation. Nal didn't need to look at him to know the battle was shifting. The ground trembled with each cannon blast as the Portuguese reorganized, slowly tipping the scales in their favor. Nal surveyed the battlefield, her chest tightening as the cannons continued to fire, uprooting trees and sending shockwaves through the valley. The Mbwila warriors fought fiercely, using the forest to their advantage, but the longer the cannons fired, the harder it became to hold their ground. Nala knew the cannons would crush their chances of victory if not stopped. The decision was clear. They had to take out the cannons before the Portuguese fully regrouped.